Hi y'all! So I have the camera facing this way because, well, it's going to be easier for me to show you what's been going on with my slimes. Not only that, but YouTube and using the app on your phone to record, it's all weird. You can't flip the camera just like your normal camera phone. You can't flip the camera when you're recording. So we're going to start this way. So I've been doing a lot with my slime lately. I've created a diluted version of Tide because Tide has been irritating my skin. Now when I play with it, it causes my fingernails to get super flimsy. They kind of strengthen over time because I haven't been using Tide as much, but after I play with the Tide, my nails would be able to just bend without barely putting any pressure. I'm barely putting pressure now. And my nails naturally aren't strong, so they bend if I put enough pressure on them. See how it's bending? I naturally can bend my nails because they're not strong nails. But after playing with Tide, barely put pressure would cause my nails to literally just bend on their own. It was so bad. What was that? That is marker from earlier today at work. Anyways, so I decided to dilute it with some water. There was about this much water from here or here, about much water. I put almost this entire thing of Tide into this and it rose up to here. I've used a lot of it for a slime that I made recently. I will show you, but let me show you how much is left. There's about that much left. I had to actually use some of this Tide, the original, without the water, because the water, this diluted version, didn't seem to be helping the brand new slime I was making. It was still too sticky and it wasn't forming. It would just spread out and it was falling off the table. It was sticking to my clothes. It was pretty bad, you guys. It was jiggly slime to extreme. It was like Nickelodeon slime, that stuff that just gets everywhere and just falls and it stretches and yeah, it was that kind of sticky. It was all bad. So I used a little bit of this. Now I think I actually overactivated it by doing this. I was using, for a long period of time, I was being careful and I used a straw to pick it up, put it in, and just see how much I needed. But eventually I just dumped a little bit in, and eventually by doing that a couple times, it overactivated the entire thing. So now I have this. I might have to put more Tide in it because it's not the perfect amount of dilution. So next time, I know when I get Tide again, I'll probably not go up to here with water. I'll probably only go down to here, just dilute it just a little bit, and then put the rest of the Tide in. So, yeah. I know that was a lot of explaining, and I know you guys want to see the slime, so I'm going to start showing you my slime. So, first off, let me show you my original slimes, how they're doing. I haven't touched them in a minute since I talked to you guys, not since Friday. That's actually when I made some of the slimes, when I made that Friday slime, I think so, yeah, that sounds about right. So let's start looking at some of the slimes I've created so far. So as you can see up here, I got rid of the slime out of these containers, because I started mixing some of the slimes, and I created that jiggly first slime I ever made. I put that, and then my my shaving cream slime, so the fluffy slime, together, and it created this. I put some color in it. I actually put yellow, which is why it's green, because of Tide. I used the original Tide. I didn't use the diluted. I hadn't made it yet, and this is what it looks like now. All the bubbles have risen. Looking good. No residue or water on there, so that's good. And look at it. Let's see what it does. It's not extreme stretch. If you fast forward the video, you'll tell that it is slowly flattening, doing the stretch, but course, when you have more in one packed area, it's more likely to do the clicks. So it still does the clicks. There's a slight residue. I mean, I guess slime is naturally a little bit wet. I just think that's how it naturally feels, but it's not so wet as it used to be, where my entire hand would be glistening because of it. So, let me turn this. It's probably, no, I already have it this way, so we're just gonna have to play with it this way. Okay, I forgot that I probably should have put the video sideways, but oh well. And it stretches. Oh, what is that? Is that flour residue? My mom got me flowers the other day, and I think I forgot to wipe down the table. So let me quickly just do that real quick. While you guys all fall down. And here we go. Alright, let's try this again. Whew. So we're already 6 minutes into this video. I feel bad. It stretches really well. It's fluffy. And remember, this was made with the Jacques, or however you pronounce it. So, I actually over-activated a while back, and then I put lotion, and then I let it sit, and then now it actually stretches a lot better. So far, it hasn't torn, so that's good. It doesn't exactly stretch well, unfortunately. But I guess that's what happens when you make fluffy slime. But it does have good clicks when you put enough that your fingers get submerged. So, I'm happy with how it came out. I'm glad it's doing what it's doing. I kind of want to put some glitter in it now that it's kind of settled and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I will probably do that later. I don't want to make this video too long. So, there's that. My green slime. To me, it's a light green. It's almost minty. To you guys, it kind of looks more blue. Maybe that's just because of the lighting. So, there's that. And this is what my hand looks like after playing with it. Just a little bit of residue, but it's not too bad. Not too wet. I'm happy with that. So next slime, my jiggly slime I made. You know, the blue one, the original. The water one that used to be up to here. Well, over time, the water has come out. I'm going to dump a little bit of it out, because most of it is technically water and Tide. And that was my problem, was that it was Tide. It's overactivated. It's not overactivated. It's Tide that's causing it to be the way it is, plus water. And I think it's just causing it to feel and irritate my skin. But it's actually still very wet. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Most of the time when I made them, this is what my fingers would look like after I played with them when I first make them. So that one didn't do it. This one does, because it's a water slime. Ooh, I like the clicks. They're a lot better. This one's way stretchier. I like the fact that it's not as stiff anymore. And it's definitely playable. The only thing is, it smells extremely like Tide. Like, I can smell it from all the way over here, let me tell you. And it doesn't stick to the table, unfortunately. So, like, if I want to do, you know, how you could just do this and then lift it, I can't do that because it's so wet, it just comes off the table. So, but I can stretch it and do this. I think this one was the one I tried to make a bubble with. It's kind of hard to do because of the fact that it doesn't stick to the table. So, And because of how wet it is, it doesn't do popping really well either. So, it's beautiful. It's definitely wet. It's blue because of the Tide. I didn't dye it. And I think I did put the... Yeah, I think this one's just the original jelly slime that I created. And that is what it looks like afterwards. So, let's put it back in its container. Close it back up. Let it sit again. And let's dry off my hands and wipe off the table real quick. I have no ability to pause on the YouTube recordings. So, you get to watch me clean off my table real quick. I know I probably should like put you here and then show you guys how I play with it right here, but I always tend to wear tank tops and all this, and I don't want you guys to like, you know, it falling, looking down my chest or anything, so it's just better if I can do it this way. Okay, so now on to the one I first ever dyed. And as you can see, this was also a kind of watery slime. The Tide and the slime, the water have definitely separated. It's definitely dyed, as you can tell, because the water's dyed. So let me just dump some of this so we can play with it. This is the one I put the first ever glitter in, by the way. Ooh, it's just so wet. This one's probably wetter than the other one, so this one's probably going to take a minute to really dehydrate enough to play with without feeling like that. See, this is wetter than that one was, for sure. Okay, so as you can see the moisture in it itself, but it got some good clicks. It stretches well. The only problem with playing with this wet slime is because it's wet, the glue tends to stick to, I mean not the glue, but the glitter tends to stick to your fingers. That is the only real problem I have. Like, I don't mind being glittered up, but when I try to go play with another slime, I have to really clean my hands. Wait for it. Oh, you can't see. Oh, well, I was trying to show you that the water was kind of dripping down my back of my hand, but it wasn't a lot. Hold on, come on. There we go. So, it's good for a stretch. Look at that glitter. Look at it just go down. So it's a lot more stretchy and slippery. It doesn't stick to me, which is great, unless I hold it for too long in one position. When I play with it, it feels like it actually dries up a little bit now that I had a moment to get the water out of it. So I think it's actually going to be better from now on. It shouldn't have too much more water coming out of it. Okay. Again, this is also one that you probably can't do a bubble with because of the fact that it's not as stretchy as it probably should be. But it does kind of stick to the table, so I can pull it away from it and kind of try to make a bubble. But I would have to stretch it wider, unfortunately, so it's not doing what it's supposed to. And it doesn't do pops well. But I gotta say, after playing with it, it does leave a slight residue. Now that it's not as wet, it's not as, you know, noticeable. It's kind of almost like this one, where it's slightly wet, but not wet. It's like an in-between of those two, kind of, in my opinion. I gotta say, it's a lot better. Yep. Okay. I gotta say though, now that I've been playing with it for a minute, the glitter actually isn't coming out as much. So it's definitely gotten better. So I'm gonna clean this real quick. Gotta use some water. Clean it out. I got an entire mess here, you guys. Look at this. Just slime everywhere. And I've been using mainly this one for like water and stuff, putting in. Oops. Poor keyboard. Oops, I did not mean to put water out. This is what happens when you're looking through your camera. And of course, I accidentally left it in the... Okay, I think I'm going to stop the video here. And we'll look at the other two slimes later. Sorry, guys.